Happy Monday.
Happy Monday.
Good evening, everyone.
Good evening, everyone. It's
Ryan.
Ryan.
Pigeon and Pioneer Club, and you can hear our bartender laugh behind Ricky. He's making a beverage. And just want to make sure that we are on. Reminder, guys, this show is best when you participate. What does participation mean? Participation means don't just sit there and read the comments. Ask a question, put a comment in. Hey, I might not like what you say. I may think you have no clue what you're talking about. You may think I don't know anything either. But that's what's going to make this show great because we're going to communicate. It might be a little buffery this evening. Again. God, you're such a good bartender. Just make it so good.
You just make it so good.
That's Ricky. That is Ricky for you. Shake it. You got it. Hoosier Outdoor says good evening, and we will see if we are on to YouTube. Let me know if we are on YouTube. I see we're on YouTube. I mean on Facebook. Kane says good evening. Good evening. But let's see if we are on Facebook. Had a busy weekend. We were electronically chipping pigeons this weekend. We did some electronically chipping. We did some basket training. We did some drinking in the basket. We got that all for you here tonight. Ooh. 1 second. That'll fix the echo. Let's see if that fixes the echo. Thanks for letting me know about the echo. So that means that whole intro was shit. That was a shit intro. It was a shit 3 minutes of echoing. What can we do? Sometimes it's going to echo.
What happens, Ryan? If you don't shit, you can't survive.
Can't survive, says Ricky.
That's it. You know what I mean? It's all about shit.
It's got double talking. Okay, well there now the echo is going. Yes, much better. Yes, I know. I just have to hit the mute on the one camera or it jams up. Jess says hello. Shit intro. Well, the intro was shit, but that's okay.
I had somebody that texted me.
Mm-hmm.
They actually emailed me and then followed up with a text,
mm-hmm.
and actually then came through with a telephone call. And they want to know why some pigeons' vent, which would mean asshole, plugs up with shit. They want to know why does that plug up. And they said they've had some pigeons that have that problem. And I said, I couldn't really answer that problem. Anybody out there would know about that?
Yeah, I don't know. I've seen it a few times. I normally, when that happens, they get put away.
So they asked me what the problem could be. So why would you put it away, Ryan?
Because something's wrong with it.
Well, in what way? Like, have you ever thought about curing it? Or figuring out why the bird's back end plugs up with shit?
There's
So
something
all
wrong.
of a sudden it's plugged.
Something's wrong. I don't know.
So this person's asking
Sometimes
me,
I've pulled shit off before and then see how it is in a few days. If it plugs back up,
does it really smell like shit? This person, I got to get back to them within 48 hours. So hopefully,
you're gonna figure it out.
Experts on here.
Well, you're pretty much of an expert.
I'm not an expert in this field at all.
Well, what would you do with it? What's your answer?
I've never had it before.
Oh, come on. Now you're being cute. You know it's happened.
I'm sorry, Ryan. Don't. I'm just saying this person contacted me, email, text, and then telephone, and finally in the end.
All right.
So what do we do? Like,
I don't know.
How does this person? Maybe someone will come on. I don't know. Mike Vanderyak. He probably knows about it.
Mike probably knows. Mike's never had this problem.
Does he ever have a homer that has it?
I don't know. But hey, it is what it is. The other day, we did the electronic banding here, the One Loft Birds, and there you can see all the banding going on. Banding, lots of banding.
That's very wordy.
Look at how fast I can do it. I can do it like a well-oiled machine.
That's pretty, what do you call it?
That's on a time lapse. Well, when you're doing
Look
111,
at how blurry it is.
well, yeah, when you're doing 111 birds, you know, it's going to take a bit of time, and that's what we ended with the scissors. But
It's a lot of birds.
a lot of birds, and then we did get them in the transporter here today, and we got them sitting there tonight. They've been in it before, but today they're doing some drinking. You'll see them putting their heads in. It might look a little blurry again. It's our fantastic internet that we're paying for here. We should actually have free internet, but...
Do you believe that birds should be on a transporter, or what would you call that, trailer or something, that they should have a drink before they go up? Do you believe that that means in the morning prior to the race?
I think for races, yeah.
They should? So
Yeah.
if they're doing like over 100 miles, 160 kilometers,
Yeah, I think for the races you can give them a drink.
do you think it's a good idea?
Yeah.
Now I hear some clubs, I hear they got some fellas in some clubs that are shooting their lippies off.
Oh, we're looking at this.
I talked to a friend at the coffee shop.
We're just looking at this here to start.
Yeah, but
I don't.
Well, that's what I'm saying.
we
Why
don't
do you
have-
give this now?
Well, why? I don't know, because you're all fucking fired up.
No,
Yeah, oh, I can tell. I can just tell you're
No,
fee-fi
hold
full
on,
fun.
just hold
Let's
on.
watch what we're looking at. The one-off birds are having a drink. Just shut up and watch.
Why are you drinking them? So they get on the trailer.
For dummies like you to ask that question. That's why.
Well, that's why I'm a dummy.
Well,
okay?
that's right. So
Right.
keep acting dumb.
It's not
and there
dumb.
you go.
I'm just asking for the novice. He wants to know why you're giving them water.
I'm not watering them for the novice. I'm watering them for the experts.
What do the experts say?
The experts don't water them.
They don't?
No. I know they don't.
I didn't know that.
So I'm just showing this, but you
I
want to
mean,
go.
I thought experts
You,
wanted
you
to
want to
water.
go all over
Something
tonight.
I-
You want to go all over tonight.
I'm
You
just-
want to do the
I'm
show.
just-
How
I'm just-
how fast do you want to do the show tonight?
If you want, you can mute me.
If I could, I would. But
I don't.
there's not a
The other
button.
thing, can you golf on your own? Or do you need someone to golf with?
He's really having a rough night
No,
tonight.
that's a question for you. I'm saying,
Jeff
the
McCann,
novice
hey,
is
hello.
gonna go, why are you watering them?
I don't know why. Let's
I'm here
ask.
on the behalf of
Let's
the- of
let's
the
ask
homers
what
of
novice.
Canada.
Let's ask what novice would ask why.
Just hold on, I gotta swallow.
Actually, believe it or not, most veterans I know in clubs around, right? They're afraid to give the birds water at the club because they're afraid to pass disease and germs and sickness. Like, they don't think the little kids are going to blow each other's noses on each other in the baskets. They're this stupid.
This is what I want to hear.
Right. But I see professionals at clubs that got about a $600,000 pigeon loft.
Well, this is what I want to hear, Ron.
They're the same stupid people that wear gloves to the club. They're the same stupid people. Hold on. They're the same stupid people that join a club. In the first year, they become a liberator. In the first year, they're telling people in the club. First year means what? Sit there and shut up and ship your birds. And what are they doing? They're yapping to people and telling people what they do know and what they don't know. Now, these are the same people that don't water the birds. Because you want to know why? They don't want to get their birds sick. I think watering
So
the
you
birds
shouldn't water them?
is very good.
Right. So this is a question because I was actually in transit. I was on the CN rail on my way to Ottawa.
Mm-hmm.
Okay.
No, oh,
And
Jeff,
I met
Jeff,
somebody
hold
on
on.
the train.
Jeff said maybe it's a tapeworm. Why the shit don't come out their ass. I don't know.
Should you take him to the vet?
No, just kill them. That's what you do. That's the best thing.
Kill
Just
the worm?
put them into put the bird in the bin. Get rid of
okay.
it. Rosedale says hello. Hoosier Outdoors says sometimes if they are into a small cage, they back up. I don't know if they're in a small. Oh yeah, then there's those idiots. I love the idiots, and I don't mean to call you an idiot. They're the idiots that breed. Here we go. There's your breeding box. This will hold a pair. Holds the nest bowl here. The feeder's here. The water is here. And the mate can stand in the corner. people that breed in those things, and like the gentleman says, the birds can't shit outside the cage. That means you're a moron if you use a small cage like that. Or if you have one that's 3 times the size of that, you're still not being very smart.
Breed it in your garage.
Breed it in garage.
Make sure you have a sloped garage floor.
Yeah.
Because when it starts running, it'll run right out into the gutter, out on the street. So now, this is where I'm coming from. I was on transit with the CN rail.
Okay, I don't need a story about the CN rail.
I met a guy.
A
guy asked me about watering. We started talking about pigeons. All of a sudden, I knew he was a pigeon man. He said, "Okay, Homer guy." He said, "Oh well, you shouldn't be watering the birds on the transport truck because it's not recommended to do so." And he heard it from somebody in one of the neighboring clubs, and he asked my opinion, and I said, well, I don't really want to make an opinion. I do think the birds should have water, and so that's why I put it on the show, and you're showing watering, so you're definitely teaching birds to drink out of a transporter.
David Tracy says, if they're worried about spreading disease, then they can add a little bleach or disinfectant in the water. No, leave the water pure. Leave it clean. The weak pigeons, they pick up sickness. If you didn't get sickness before the season, you're going to get it during the season. That's your fault. I think just leave the water plain and clean. Because you know what? Then you get ding-dongs that put a cup of bleach in the water. That's no good either. I just think...
What happens if the guy said there was some local organization, a Homer Club, and they weren't watering the birds after over 100 miles or 150 miles because of, again, what you said, because of sickness. But if you don't water them and they're going up in this Homer transporter, and they get up there...
What are you talking... Why do you keep talking about... Right.
They're getting hot now.
But that's because...
Then where do they go when they come out?
And
they go down to... maybe Wendy's or McDonald's.
No,
get a nice cold drink.
It's just not. It's not fair to the animals. Just give them proper water.
Well, that's why I was bringing it up, and you're teaching them to drink out of a transporter.
Well, I am.
Yeah.
Yeah. Right. Because that's why people come to the race. Because hey, the birds before they go to the hard race, not the 100 mile or the 200 mile, but by the time they get to 300 miles, they can drink very successfully in a transporter. Then this way. When we give it to them, they're not complete stupid.
I was speaking with a guy at a Homer Club, and he said that they water the pigeons actually at the Homer Club when they ship the birds.
Can you just call it a club?
Is that right?
Like, can you just call it a club? It just sounds so fucking stupid.
Well, that's what it sounds to you, but to me it sounds good.
No,
so
it just
I have a right to say what I feel like saying.
Okay,
and
you
can't
just
tell
call
me
it. You
wrong.
can just
Okay,
call
so
it a club. You can just call it a club.
So they're at the Homer Club, and they're watering the birds right at the club. And then, why would they do that?
Because the birds got to the club, they're going to have a drink before they go on the truck.
They're nervous.
They don't. Just give them a drink.
You think birds get nervous before they go on the truck?
I don't know if birds get nervous or they don't. I know if they want to drink, they want to drink.
Okay,
give them a drink.
Another guy asked me the other day, should you ship a pigeon to a race under 100 miles if it's ready to lay an egg?
No.
You shouldn't. Like, why?
No, it's just common sense.
Like the first egg.
First egg, second egg.
The second egg.
I wouldn't be shipping it till a few days after it laid an egg.
You would.
No, I wouldn't. No, it just laid an egg. Come on. I mean, come on. The gut's got to be a little tender, I would think. But I don't know.
Tender feeling.
I don't know.
Should you clip a Homer's nails before you send it to a race? There's a good question.
I actually like the shows when you're not on them.
Oh.
Because
but you still gotta pay me to be on it, right?
No, because you almost can't talk because you're so, I call it such stupid comments. It's a build up of dumb comment after dumb comment. I feel like I'm actually sitting.
There's a lot of pigeon people that don't know these questions.
No, there's nobody asking these questions.
Why? Because they know it all?
No, I don't. Do you have anything to do?
You can get off the show.
Go ahead, talk. What do you want to talk about?
I'm just saying. It
Go.
makes common sense.
Talk to yourself. Go ahead. Talk away. I would like to say shipping process puts stress on the birds. That's what Mike says. Okay.
I agree.
Sure. Shipping does. So, do people think the birds should be watered at the club? That's a question. If it's 100 miles or if it's 500 miles, do you think the birds should be watered at the club?
I do think so.
Okay. Now, here's another question. Milton says they should water the birds because of the distance, the races they're going to stop. They should, yeah, because the birds are going to stop, drink on the way. Yes, they are. So the birds should be watered before. Now, if the transporter is driving, I know when I take the one-loft birds up to 200 miles, let's say, at about the 4 or 5 hour mark of driving, I'll pull over when I got to fuel up. And I'll give everyone a half hour a drink in the gas station, even if it's dark, because there's enough lights on at the gas station. The birds have a drink. Now you're laughing.
So what do you give them water? Or
sure. What do
you said gas station.
I stop at a gas station to fuel up the truck. I give them everybody a drink of water again.
Okay.
Now, is that too much water? That's the question. Is that necessary?
Never too much water. I don't think it's, I think you're doing it as a good soul out of your heart.
Right. And then I'll take the water away, and then I drive back up, and then away we go.
I've seen these Homer trailers where the guy doesn't even water them. I watched it. I did a video.
Well, what I don't understand in the club that I'm talking about, it's a club up in the northern there. I think it's the North one that Lance is in.
Oh,
and his name's Oscar DeVries. He's a liberator. He's a joker.
He's a junior member.
No. He's a goddamn dominator.
Okay.
What he likes to do is he likes to go like this. Push, push, push. And I watch him push.
Push the buttons.
I listen, my ears are always on. This guy here, he doesn't want to give birds water at the club because he's afraid of sickness. I can't figure this out. But in the same breath, he says birds that are traveling 4 hours should stop, the driver should stop, pull over, and give the birds water, give the birds a rest. Well, we're talking left and we're talking right. I think what his problem is, he has no clue what way he's going. Now, he's a liberator. He's apparently he was at some point some high-class pretend Mickey Mouse CU gigolo, the CU. And what I'm kind of seeing here, and what I'm getting is, it's just not being done the right way. And this is one club.
So
I talked to pigeon men in that club. I talked to pigeon men in the Oshawa club. I talked to pigeon men in the Humber Valley club. Do you want to know what? Every club is doing it all different. They're all doing things. Some clubs are putting all the birds in one basket. Some bird clubs are not giving them water. Some clubs, the guy at the club that's watching the birds go in, he forgets to watch, and 32 birds go in instead of 30. Or 21 birds go in instead of 20. People, nobody's doing their jobs. We can't do the waters. We can't do this. But let me ask you, when a high-end guy like Oscar DeVries...
Wait a minute.
Hold on. No. You give him his he wants.
Wait a minute.
He wants the coat.
Hold on.
He wants the coat with the mittens. Come on.
Hold on. I don't think it's right what you're doing. The guy's a junior member.
No,
he's
he's
in this
not.
Club.
He's
not a junior.
Listen.
There's no such thing.
I don't think you're allowed to call anybody a junior member anymore. That's discrimination.
He's not a new member in this
That's
club?
racism.
I'm going to stand up for him. He's a
Hold
new
on.
member in the
Here's
club.
the problem.
Do they not have a 1 year, what do you call it, probation
I
in
don't
this
think
club?
I don't think any club does that.
You have to write a resume out to get in the club.
How do you know?
I know it. They want to know if you've had speeding tickets, been charged with child molestation, over obesity eating, and all that stuff. You have
Okay,
to put it
so
down.
hold on.
Any parking violation?
Here's my man
all
Lance.
this shit.
I always talk to Lance. Here's my
Hey,
man
just
Lance.
hold on a minute. Are you not glad that
No.
I started this off at the beginning?
No.
We're talking about simple stuff, kids.
We're not talking about anything.
You know what I mean? Okay.
Listen. Here's my buddy Lance.
He's
We
your buddy?
water our birds at the club, but only the birds that have been basketed, trained properly, will drink.
Well, that's right.
Well, sure. Well, and that's why, again, as we say, look at this. We haven't started training yet. But what are we doing?
You're using a good
Now, as Lance said this, at our club that we do water them. Well, I'm glad that you're watering them now. Because I know we talked about this, Lance, and sometimes they don't water them at these clubs. On race number 1, Lance's birds know how to drink water because he just told me Lance's birds do. So that means Lance's birds, when he goes to the club on race 1, should he have the opportunity to give his birds water at the club?
Birds should be watered.
Should
on
be
the trailer.
watered. That's right.
Why do the Homer trailers have these facilities to water birds? And then you get some, I hate to say it, dingling that says no. And a dingling that's a new member in the club hasn't been there a year, and he's starting to push his, they call it the thing around the club. I don't think that's right.
So-
I heard that from other people. I was on the train and I talked to a guy.
Now hold on. Let me adjust this. Sometimes we have to have a little bit of fun. And you know what? We
This
have to
isn't fun.
We
This
have
is
to
serious
we have to
stuff,
stir
man.
the shit up, man. Because if
That's-
someone
that's
don't
what
say
I'm
it,
saying.
then what are we gonna do? Anyways, let's see. Let's get to the comments. Mike Vandriak had a comment. The Niagara Club waters their birds during shipping. Good job, Mike.
I believe in it 100%. I believe in it on the.
Birds should be watered.
I-
Rosedale says Ricky is on fire.
Yeah, I believe on the Homer transport vehicle when they get up to the liberation, before the liberation, at least a half an hour before they're liberated, those birds
here's
should
an-
get water. I'm going to tell you why. It's a hot day. Now, the bird didn't get water. The first thing he thinks about in about a half an hour, because I know a bird personally, he gets thirsty and he goes, where's the lake? Where's the pond? Where's the river? Where's the swimming pool? Where's the bird bath? I need a friggin' drink of water. Now, I don't know if you folks know this, but I'm also a chemist. Now, if you work 2 hours in extensive heat, I'm talking 80-degree heat, the chemistry, your body chemistry, anything that runs blood, you have to stop and get a drink of water. So if the guy didn't water them in the trailer before they took off, that bird is automatically hot in the trailer. Have you ever been in a trailer
Hold on.
and smelt the body heat coming off those birds? You can smell it.
No.
And soon they come out. All he's thinking about is water. Now the first race, if you didn't water him, he knows the trick. He learns a river, a pond, a stream, whatever. The next race he comes out, he doesn't think about going home. He thinks about next half an hour, I gotta find a water hole. So I'm saying
Water
this
the birds.
jackass
No,
that
but
mentioned
hold
the
on.
guy in the truck said, the trailer, I was in the CN rail. He said to me, this jackass at our club said they shouldn't get watered on liberation. So now if you're teaching, you got a big enough, the guy that's driving the truck, he listens to this jackass and goes, well, hell, I don't even want to
But
water.
hold on, there's other issues I hear about. Okay? I get another issue.
Thanks for telling me, right?
In the North Road or North Wings Club, I hear of this.
Mm-hmm.
Birds get loaded into the truck, into the baskets at the club. Everyone's going through. Then they realize one of the baskets they forgot to put paper or cardboard for the droppings to go on. They're on wire anyways. Birds are on wire. Somebody has the idea in their head.
That guy's a somebody. But wait a minute, you said somebody. I thought somebody should be somebody.
Putting their arms in, pulling the birds out of the baskets, putting them into other baskets, to then take the grates out to put paper in, to put the birds back in.
Oh.
Hold on. I don't know what's going on.
That's disgusting.
When you get to the club, and you guys are going to use 10 baskets, 5 baskets, 8 baskets, 1 basket. Let's think and come up with a plan.
Before the birds go in, they should have paper.
And if you want to put paper, you make the mistake and there's no paper,
excuse me,
the birds are on wire. Does it even matter?
No.
You see those birds in our transporter? They're on wire and right on the basket. I'm not putting newspapers in. Why? It's just an extra step of shit I don't got to do.
Well, the other thing, too, is I just feel when you have newspaper in the bottom, I'm going to use newspaper as a negative point, okay? When the birds have their droppings on newspaper, that means stuff that comes out the rear end, okay? On the newspaper, it's usually moist. If the Homer vehicle is going up, and you get a little bit of rain that comes, it does come in the side. There's that mist comes in. The newspaper gets soaked underneath. Now, if you've got soaked newspaper plus droppings that gets wet with the newspaper, it creates a, you know what I mean? That stink. It's humidity. Pigeon's body temperature is 107 degrees. So you get the heat and the humidity and the shit.
As Mike Green says, it's a waste of time.
I think it's a waste of time too.
Rosedale says if you're going into the baskets pulling birds out, you stress them out, and that can cause screw up for the racers.
Once those birds are in that basket, again, you junior members,
hold on.
Do not think of this idea.
Lance says they're always watering the birds at their club. Okay, that's good.
He just said it again.
Hold on. Lance says, I don't believe Oscar was against watering the birds. We're not sure.
Who said Oscar?
We're not sure. I don't know. Listen, I heard you told me about Oscar on a train. I'm thinking you're talking to the same Oscar.
I didn't talk to Oscar. I was talking to somebody on the train, the CN Rail. And I was talking to somebody on the train on the way to Ottawa. And this guy on the train told me he was so happened. We were talking. He's flying pigeons. I said, "Are they homers?
Are you having fun yet?"
Yeah, he said he didn't know if they were homers or racers. He said, "I'm flying them." I said, "Okay." And then he started. You get a little bored on the train. You start talking about stuff like that.
We're giving them some basket training, eh? The one-lofters.
So
we're at the school.
I don't think he mentioned any names.
Oh, if he did, he did. I've heard a lot of weird things about Mr. DeVries, so it wouldn't shake. Wouldn't you know?
I think he was. I hate to say it.
But we should get him on.
He was a young man.
We can question him.
He was a young man that came from overseas, and very young man. And I think his dad told him he was overseas to have a lot of pigeons, and then he started training pigeons and playing around with pigeons and.
The guy on the train, unbelievable.
And then I think what he should do, watch this
video.
I think what you're talking about here is this Oscar guy. I think he should buy himself another book.
Hold on. Let's look here. Look at the wind.
Holy jeez. Holy jumping.
That's strong wind, eh?
I would normally flap the flap underneath.
I know. I had multiple.
Is this a self-locking basket?
Yeah. There we go. I had to adjust it.
Ooh. Hoop. There's a white one. But Mike Vanderjak's on there. No. There's a bougie one.
For first time in baskets, they're coming out real good there.
Real good.
And again, we didn't have the clock on for them there today. They're just giving them a little bit of basket training. We got everybody all chipped up quite nicely, and I'll give you a listing here of the chippage. There is our chippage. There's the first page. There's the second page. And there's the third page. Tomorrow, we're going to start training the one loft birds. They will go to where they were today. We'll put the clock on, and we'll see how they do. But look, today, everybody come there pretty darn good. Most of them all beat us home, and they were flying around. And,
That was where, at the jailhouse?
yeah, the schools.
Jailhouse.
That's a great word. Jailhouse for a school. So that's another thing. Leave the birds in the basket. Don't grab them. Next thing.
Do not do that, man. You should be kicked in the so hard. Get the hell back in the back seat, boy. You are a junior member.
The other thing is, at the clubs, I don't know why
If we let it happen today, it happens again tomorrow and happens again the next day.
The next week. We're on weeks. You only fly weeks,
Well,
not
that's it.
days. There's only.
I'm just saying, 1 week, 1 day, 1 month. If you do it in your kitchen every day, you do it the next day. You do it the next day. And then you go to the Homer Club and you start doing it at your Homer Club. And that's not fair. And won't anybody stand up for their rights and say, that looks odd to me. I don't think that's right. Stop what you're doing, jackass. You've only been here 1 season and you're starting to do shit.
Hold on. But here's something
I'm
else.
sorry, but I get very emotional.
You're an emotional kind of guy.
Thank you.
Now, here's another thing. Is it hard to be a liberator?
Is it?
Do you have to have a university degree to be a liberator?
I think if you have common sense, a liberator can be done.
If you have common sense.
Yeah.
Now, do you think you can just go and tell people you're not qualified to be a liberator? You don't know that. Listen, I'm watching liberators on all the combines. I watch them all. It ain't rocket scientists. Some weeks they get it right. Some weeks they get it wrong. At the end of the day, do I think people want to get it wrong? No. Do I think 90% of the liberators rush to liberate the birds? 100%.
I think so.
You know, in Australia,
That's the land down under.
they're doing a lot of liberations. 200, 250 miles. They're releasing them at 11 o'clock in the morning. Guys, a 200-mile race, okay, it's between 4 and 6 hours. That's it. I'm watching here in these areas. These clubs are getting the birds up at 7 in the morning, 8 o'clock in the morning. Up north, everywhere here they fly north, there's so much fog.
Well, at this time of the year, I think what we should explain why there is fog. It's because temperatures are starting to drop, air temperatures. And what happens is, again, I did a lot of physics. You get the heat of the bodies of water that are around is still up there, okay? Like up, like it could be 78, 80 degree water temperatures. But then the temperature of the air temperature comes down. What's our temperature here right now? 12 degrees. We got 12 degrees right now here. But today, it was about 80 degrees here. So you get your water temperature, okay? It's very nice. You ever gone swimming in a lake when the temperature is 15 degrees and you get in that water and you're in the water and it's just beautiful and you just put your head out in the water and your ears start getting cold.
Let's just get to the point.
So what I'm saying is that you get the cooler air coming down and it hits the warm air from the lake or from the river or even from the ocean. And what happens is you get fog. Steam comes up, and it creates a fog. And this is what happens. And a lot of times, you've got to wait till the sun comes up to, what
Listen.
it does, it kind of burns that fog off.
Listen.
Burns it off. But if you're Homer driver, he has to go to a wedding at 1
No,
o'clock.
I don't believe it has anything to do with the drivers.
Well, the driver.
I think the driver says, sure, okay, it looks fine here.
Yeah.
Here it looks fine. Go there, it don't look so fine. And I'm going to say this.
I believe it.
There's the 3 combines. There's the Up North Combine. There's the Niagara Combine. And there's the EOC Combine. Now, there's a multitude of locations. There's Temagami, Temiskaming, Latchford. Those 3 spots. I believe all those trailers release in that vicinity. If you want me to give you a free liberation, a pass, next year when you hit those race points, release the birds at 12 o'clock noon. And you'll see your races will be like every other race. Smooth sailing, away you go.
I will
Between 11 and 12 o'clock. That's when you release.
You ask, is Mike Vanderyak on the line?
We don't know where Mike is. Mike was here, but he
He lives
disappeered.
down there near Fort Erie area.
But-
I'll bet you he gets more fog down there than we do.
But to become a liberator,
We're high up.
today's simple. Today's real easy to do a liberator. You got the Windy app, you got the news, you got your phone, you can cancel races.
You got
it all.
You got an uncle up there somewhere.
Now I wonder though how many of these places, phone, local gas stations,
I phone the OPP. That's what I do.
Yeah, the
Ontario
OPP.
Provincial Police.
or a gas station down the road, there's
You
always
call-
an attendant.
Call them up.
ask.
They're more than happy to help you out.
But a lot of times, I don't think these people are doing this. And I think people are so worried about getting the birds up before the heat. Guys, don't worry about the heat. If you put them up in fog, you bury them in the fog, and then the heat gets you. You're better to give them 1 problem, which is heat, than give them 2 problems, which is fog and heat.
Make sure you give them water.
Mike Vanderyak, here he is.
Here he is. He came up.
Hold
there.
on. We are scheduled to ship Latchford this coming weekend. Mike, trust me, let the birds up from Latchford at 11 o'clock in the morning. Try it out. You won't have a problem. You go earlier, 9 o'clock, you're playing in fog. You will be. I know you will be, because from Latchford to North Bay, it's like this. It's like in a crater.
A lot of rivers. and
There's 50 miles of shit until you get to North Bay. North Bay, it's high, and then it's clear sailing. From North Bay to Burke's Falls, it's clear sailing.
Actually, North Bay is in kind of a hollow, but once you get out
Well,
of there...
you know at the top of North Bay.
Oh,
you know
the top there.
Yeah,
I
yeah.
know what you're talking. They come over that top.
That knoll.
What is it, Lake Nipissing? Or what is
Yeah. But for people that want to be a liberator, I don't know why people are so rushing to get the birds out and just slow down. Mike says it's 308 miles to me. That's good. Let them out at 11 o'clock. Or, hey, better yet, let them out at 6 o'clock and let them dance in the fog. Whatever you want.
Oh, I know pigeons are 300 miles. You let them out at 1 o'clock. 1 o'clock in the afternoon on a nice day, they come no problem.
They give no problem. That's right. I mean, 300 miles is 300 miles. But I think at 11 o'clock in the morning, it's not going to be dark till almost 8 o'clock at night anyways. I say, Mike, let him out later. But I would love to be a liberator. But I don't know if I could be a liberator because I think it's the group of people you're with. I don't think they'll listen.
Oh, I know one fellow that was a liberator. And he felt very proud of himself as a liberator, and he had to go to a wedding that day, and he told the people, I can't be a liberator this day, and when he came back, they told him he was no longer a liberator. They said, no, we don't need
Oh
you
yeah,
anymore.
they did that to Troy.
Yeah. They did, like,
They,
and he was in that,
sorry,
he was
Troy.
in that, what is it, the York
Yeah,
Regional,
the York Regional Club.
formerly known as the
Far
Far
North.
North Racing.
Yeah,
They call it Racing Pigeon Club.
Troy was liberating, and he had to go to a wedding or
And
something.
his club members never stood up to him, for him at the combine, to say this was not a right move.
And I would say, I've talked to Troy a lot of times. Sometimes me and Troy don't always agree, and that's fine. But I will say, I think Troy's a good liberator. Because he's more of the old school liberating. Responsible, that's right. And can you imagine, they fired him for that. They fired him.
Yeah, they did. It was ridiculous.
It's not even a goddamn paid job.
I won't be able to be a liberator this weekend. I have to go to a wedding or whatever it was. Well, I think it was a wedding. And then when he came back, they told him,
I feel bad for Troy in that one.
You're not a liberator anymore.
Now let me ask you.
You're fired.
You
and his club members, I think he's got 25 members in his club. You know what they did? They got sore necks and sore shoulders. They went like this.
Yeah.
And just said, hey, bud, it's too bad for you, eh?
But think about it. He got fired from a job that you do voluntarily.
Yeah.
You're a volunteer.
Well, I thought jobs, you're supposed to get paid for a job.
He got fired from it. Like, I wonder, if he had a family emergency. Like, a wedding's a kind of an emergency.
It is an emergency.
Like, I mean...
A large emergency.
Anyways, hold on. Mike Green says, part of the problem you have, these flyers think they have been released early and bitch if they're not. Well, yeah, because the people... Like I always say, guys, I want you to keep training your birds earlier and earlier in the mornings. It makes it better for the real pigeon flyer who knows what his pigeon's got to go through to train later in the day. Mike Vandiak says, after liberating Latchford, the NNRPA trailer driver drives back to North Bay for the D-release. Okay, well...
So he's going to sacrifice the first group for the second group? Is that what it is? Let's sacrifice that first group because I got to get back to North Bay for the second group. Well, we got to sacrifice that first group. Oh, that don't sound right to me. One guy was asking me.
The other thing I would say is, and if you want my opinion, Mike, this is just an opinion. I like this even better. Sit in North Bay, release the D-birds. Drive 1 hour north.
By that time,
the driver sees the dirty part of the road that's going to screw those birds, which is that 50 miles we talked about. Get there, sit 20 minutes. You don't have to water them because you watered them already on the first go. Then let them out.
Well, it's from North Bay to Temagami, that's about an hour.
Yeah, it's 1 hour drive. It's going to be about an hour and 15-minute drive to Latchford.
Water them again. When you get up there, you should sit down and wait at least half an hour.
You can give them water. Let them sit for 30 minutes.
That's right.
So if they let the North Bay birds out at 8, they can let the Latchford birds out at 10. There's no problems.
Yeah, and he's drove up there
and he's seen the problem.
That's right.
And I will say, if we fly...
the first time, Ryan, I'm ever going to say you're right.
Look at... How many times have we done now, the birds in Latchford or Temagami? I tell you, we go, stop in North Bay until the sun comes up. Then drive to the next spot. Because it's that chunk of road that's bad for fog. But
now, okay, so I'm going to change the subject right now. This may sound like a little bit funny question to ask you, right?
Do you want to have a drink?
I want the people that put my birds through to put those little gloves on. See those gloves?
No.
Because it's softer on the pigeon. So
you're wrong.
The guy can't squeeze as much.
Hey, it's softer on your hands.
Or your hands.
Your hands.
You know what I mean? So, I had a question that was quite logical. A guy asked me the question. Okay, now I want one of you folks to answer this question. Again, I talk to a lot of people that are kind of... They don't know a lot about homers. And one guy asked me, and he was a little upset. He said, I sent my pigeon to a race, and he knew it was going to lay an egg. Like that afternoon. But it didn't lay it yet. So he sent it to the race, and he said he would swear on a stack of hamburger buns that his bird laid an egg in the crate. But then he said he was so surprised that in the following week that he never did get that egg. So, like, what's going on? He wanted to know what's going on. Well, what would be your advice for this guy?
I don't know.
Now, that sounds like a stupid question, but it's not stupid when you're a beginner homer man.
Well, it's pretty good.
You understand? It's like you said.
They probably
don't raise birds in cages this big.
I got this on the camera.
Right.
Just
That's a logical question.
Just showing the one lovebirds drinking.
Now you change the subject. So I'm gonna have to start all over again.
No, that is a great point.
You showed about breeding in canary cages.
No.
This guy has a logical question.
I don't know why the egg's not in the crate. Probably somebody took it out when they cleaned the crate.
Okay, so what would that guy do with the egg?
I'd probably thrown it out, or kept it, or maybe
could not have brought it back to the club.
Maybe
Said it was in this cage.
I don't know.
Basket.
I don't know.
That's a stupid question, isn't it?
I don't know.
Maybe
you know what? There's a lot.
Maybe Mike Vanderyak would have an answer for that.
It's a pretty damn good question. I'm not gonna lie. It is. It is a
good question.
Okay, we got some more questions. Let's see. Mike Green says, for starters, I won't have shipped the bird.
So if that beginner is listening right now, that is a very good answer. Okay.
No, Mike has the idea. Some people collect eggs out of the basket to introduce new blood to their birds.
That's okay. This is what we're afraid of. I think when eggs are dropped in baskets on a Homer transporter, I think it's the obligation of the driver to collect those eggs and turn them in.
Okay, well,
and they should be destroyed.
Alvin says don't send it then, if she's going to lay. Don't send it. So new people don't send it. Let's see.
So the new fella shouldn't send it.
Yeah. Hassan says, how many barley you mix with 16% protein feed? How many times toss a week for young birds? The harder you train, the less barley you're going to use. And I wouldn't use a lot of protein. I'd use a lot more fatty feeds. And young birds, you could train them in a week.
7 to 14 times a week.
Yeah, and if you're really wanting, you can even train them 21 times in a week. Here you go. But that's up to you.
21 times.
Yeah, if you try them 3 times a day, you can do 21 times in 21 times. I mean, hey,
you gotta be right on top of it.
I think about 14 times is real good. David Tracy says, Mike Green, I would never send a bird that was going to lay either. No.
Now, how do you know when a bird's going to lay?
Well, you see
this
the back.
One guy from the Homer Club, he asked me
the back humps up on the hens, but you got to look for it.
The back humps up.
Yeah.
So you
normally the back straight, and you'll see they go almost. It almost looks like a slight. Like speed bump.
A mogul?
A mogul. I like this.
A mogul. And how does the tail sit? Does the tail go up? Like, okay, let's say we're going to change the subject. Let's say you've got some fantails. You're doing a fantail thing.
I don't know.
How do you know?
I just know I know when a hen's going to lay. I know what they look like.
So the tail go up or
Jeez,
go down?
No, tail goes down.
Okay, can you tell anything else?
The blinking.
The
vents are always open.
When a bird blinks, what does that tell you?
They're in stress. You're shaking your head at me.
Wrong question, man.
Okay, go ahead. I don't know. Tell me when a bird's blinking.
Blinking, it
usually
means it's thirsty.
Yeah, thirsty,
right?
Yeah, or it's stressed.
But if it's blinking with its beak going like this,
and
if it's blinking and you see this going like,
yeah, she's on the way out.
And if you watched, the venti at the back going. That means
4C Loft says it don't make sense to send a bird that's getting ready to lay. Now, my question is, this is a serious question.
This is another question, a question that I brought up.
Hold on.
Brought up again. That's number 3 or number 4. I'm stimulating the environment. Right?
I'm just thinking though. I'm going to bring Mother Nature into this about this laying of the egg. I'm sure that Mother Nature has designed a pigeon for a hen to be able to lay an egg and the next day go out and survive. Now, I'm not saying race 300 miles, but I don't think it's the same as a human because they lay 2 eggs and then it's like, okay, the question we have is, after she lays her second egg, do you let her out? Do you train her 2 days after? Do you race her 2 days after? A week after? Do you loft fly her? What you get what I'm saying?
Yeah, I think you should kind of rest her. I wouldn't train her after the first between eggs. I wouldn't do that.
Okay.
I wouldn't.
So,
I'd let her get back to normal.
If you're shipping on a Friday and she lays her second egg on a Tuesday.
Excuse me.
Would you send her to the race on Friday?
She won't lay the second egg on a Tuesday. Right? They usually skip a day. So they lay.
Let's say she comes home. Let's say the first race is this Friday coming, and she lays her second egg on Tuesday. So that means she laid her first egg Sunday night, Sunday evening, afternoon.
She laid on a Monday. She laid on a Wednesday.
No.
And she laid again on a Friday. She lays a lot, man.
Come on.
I don't understand what you're saying. I'm just saying they usually skip a day.
If a hen lays her egg on a Sunday night, the first egg, that means she's laying her second egg Tuesday night.
That's right. You said Friday night laid an egg.
If she lays the first egg Sunday night, she lays the second egg Tuesday night, and your first race of the season's Friday, shipping for Friday, do you send them?
That tip I cannot answer. Okay,
it's a tricky one.
It's a very tricky one, Ryan. I will not answer that question. It's a very good question. I had another guy answer the question. If a pigeon has to lay an egg and it doesn't lay in the Homer transporter, then will it lay while in flight? Drop an egg. Has anybody witnessed this? Like you've been driving along the road, all of a sudden you get
Rosedale says scrambled eggs for the driver after release. Okay. JD Teal says it's really hard if it's really it's not that hard. If you know your birds, you know when the last time she was laid. Yeah, we know this, but what we're saying is
I've seen it in the past where guys ship birds. I really think when a bird lays in the Homer transporter, I really think that the guy that shipped the bird doesn't really know what his birds are doing. He's not concentrating on his birds.
He's not even feeling them.
What he's doing is going like this. Punch his cart, get in the cart, jump in the backyard, get the birds, throw them in the crate, throw them in the thing. He doesn't know what he's doing.
Okay, so Mike Vandiak says, my personal rule of thumb is rest the hen at least 4 days after laying an egg.
Does he put any Vaseline on her vent?
I don't know. Mike Parrish says, when birds have been out 250 miles, how much training exercise does a bird need for the up and coming races? That's a good question. So birds have been out to 250 miles. I think good exercise. I mean, loft flying is great. At least once a day loft flying. And if you're not a big loft flyer and you want to say training, I'm saying a 50, a 60, and a 70 mile trainer through the week is good. That's good. Or a 25, a 50, and a 60. A couple tosses in the week is good. Michael Peeler says, what would you do if an OLR bird is fixing to lay? Would you hold her back or say F it? Well, that's playing God at that point.
I know what he's saying. To be fair,
you got to send it.
No, be fair to the bird, you wouldn't send it.
If it's the final race?
You wouldn't send it.
Okay, if it's the
not gonna
final
make it.
race and it's an average speed leader.
You wouldn't send it. It's not right.
Okay. That's a tricky one, though.
Are we not fair to the animals?
Yeah, but that's okay. Can I ask you a question?
Sounding like we're talking about greed. Like
Okay,
I don't give a.
So hold on. So my question is.
The bird's not going to do it.
My question
Ready
is.
to lay an egg.
We're at the Cleveland one-off race. We fly there. We got the average speed leaning bird.
It's ready to lay an egg.
We asked the guy, Jimmy Smith. Jimmy Smith, I'm here to handle my bird. Or I'm here to see the bird. It's going into the race. Sorry, I can't ship the bird. Why? She's going to lay an egg. Now what?
Don't ship it.
Okay.
Oh, yeah, just like
Okay.
Like Jimmy comes. You say, hey, Jim, your bird just busted its leg. We got the last race coming up.
I'm asking you.
I say it's not fair. Don't ship it.
Okay.
You can see it's
But can you imagine if you have to tell a guy that, and the guy loses his mind on you?
Well,
I'm just saying.
Not fair.
Well, I'm just saying is people. Some people aren't fair. They don't care. They say, "Yeah, I want it to fly for the money."
That goes to show you that the Homer people, they don't really give a shit. Ask Mike Vanderyak what he would do in that case.
J.D. Teal says 2 days of loft flying and then lock them down. Locking them down is good. But it depends on how easy the race was, the 250-mile race. It depends on how easy the weekend's going to be coming up. I think everything depends.
I think he's talking about going to a 250.
Or
it's gonna be
after a 250. I think he says after a 250. Again, everything really depends on what's coming up in the schedule. When you look at the weather and you're trying to predict, is the next race coming up? Is it a 300-mile race or a 275-mile race? Is it going to be super strong headwinds? Then you're not going to pound them as hard. You might train them once, loft fly them 2 or 3 times, and like he says, shut them down. But that's feeling it out. If you just say raw, train them 3 times that week. 3 times and lock them down. That's the equivalent of loft flying them 2 or 3 times and locking them down.
When you train, if you're training in a tailwind or a headwind, how it is on your training. You take them 20 miles in a headwind, a good hard headwind, you're actually doing 40, 50 miles.
Yeah.
Do you get what I'm saying?
Right.
You got tailwind training. It's a lot easier.
Well, Mike Vandiak says, that's why the main reason I like to send cocks to OLRs. No, cocks don't lay. You're right. Cocks do not lay. But I will tell you one thing. 90% of young cocks, they're absolutely brain dead. They're not laying eggs, Mike. They're laying the hens all day, every day, as many times a day as possible. And they run around with like chickens with their heads cut off.
I had one person ask me a question. Is it wise to send a driving cock, a young driving cock, to a race?
Nope.
What do the rest of the people think?
I don't think it's good to send a driving cock.
Okay.
Now, I have my reasons on why I don't think that is.
What about a yearling or 2-year-old cock?
I don't think anything driving. I think when they're driving, their focus is on getting the hen down on eggs. Mm-hmm. That little window, they focus on get them down on eggs, get them down on eggs, get them down on eggs, get them down on eggs. They're not focused on anything else. And by the way, what are they doing from morning to night when they wake up? When they're trying to get them on eggs, what are they doing? They're running like chickens with their heads cut off. Push, 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 push. Mike Vandiak says he doesn't ship driving cocks.
There you go. So
Mike agrees.
Sounds like two of you guys are thinking the same way.
Well, what do you think?
I don't know. I can't answer that. I'm not going to answer that question.
We're not going to corner you? Come on, what's your answer?
Okay, I got no answers for that, but I'm just saying I met somebody. Actually, I was at the mall.
God, I've never seen somebody meet so many people.
I know, it was unbelievable. I was sitting there and a guy said, I thought I seen you on the show. He says, I'm a Homer man.
No.
I said, well,
You got this stuck. This is your
guy.
word of the year, a homer.
Well, they're all Homer guys, aren't they? That's all they do is let them fly home.
Okay, however, I would rather send a driving cock than a hen due to lay. I don't know. I think either one of them's not good. I wouldn't send a driving cock, and I wouldn't send a hen that I know is going to lay.
So that was a good question that this person asked me.
That was a good question.
Very good question. Logical question. Let me ask you another question.
You're really
you're
asking me a lot of questions.
A little bit out of the ballpark. Would you judge a man when he tells you, I just left the golf course, by the he wears? Would you say the golf course he plays at isn't right? Or something's wrong with him?
No, because they change when they leave a golf course.
Do they?
Yeah. You didn't know that.
Okay.
That's why they have locker rooms. Okay.
They have locker rooms at golf courses?
100%.
Do they have like bilingual or whatever they call them? Like
transgender bathrooms?
Women and men changing in the golf course?
Yeah.
A lot of golf courses won't allow women on the golf course. Do you think that's right or wrong?
What golf course are you going to? Like,
no,
where
I'm just thinking.
What are you?
They won't allow women on a golf course.
I've never seen this before.
Yes.
Everywhere we're going around, I'm seeing a lot of women at golf courses.
They won't.
They actually say it's a great place to find a girlfriend is go to the golf course.
Off their game.
The number one thing is if you go to a golf course and you find a woman at a golf course, you know she's got money.
You know where the best place to find a woman as well?
Where?
At a laundromat. Very good spot to find a woman. At a laundromat.
Okay, laundromat. Hold on. Mike Green says, I think it's better in an OLR to send hens. Mike, of course you would say that. You were last year's winner with that hen. I think you guys did a post about, it was an old post, but I seen you holding it, and congratulations last year on it. Hopefully you got her and she's going to breed you something good this year.
I got another good question.
Hold on. Donnie Crate says this.
Donnie, how you doing, Donnie? That's the guy I met on the train. Answer his question.
I thought the guy you met on the train was Oscar.
No, you keep saying
Unbelievable. Hold on. I got to have my drink. And I've learned this. Don't handle pigeons with mittens on. But if you're having a beverage, always have your mittens on.
I got another good question.
All right, this is what Donnie asked. When Ricky was working on the trains, did he single toss his birds or group toss them off the train?
See?
It was Donnie.
Don, don't ask that question. I already gave it.
Here I am. I'm thinking it was Oscar.
I got another good question. Okay, I got another good question.
Okay, we got Mike Vandernack's going to post in, and then hold your question. I think 50% of OLR money is won by hens. 50% is won by cocks, so I guess it doesn't matter. You know what? I don't think Mike's right on this.
I think the hens win a little bit more, Mike.
I'm going to say it's 75% hens. And the cocks that win, I don't think they're cocks that were sent at the end. But I don't think very often it's old cocks, Mike. I think in this one-off race here, the best cocks we've seen, I think Troy had a very good cockbird, but he was very docile. He had a mate, but you would almost not know he was a cock.
But
he was just...
I'm going to ask this question. Do you not think cockbirds are stronger than henbirds? It's like in sports. Hockey players, the men are usually stronger than the women. Soccer games, men are stronger than women's. Running boxing, the men is stronger than the woman. So how does it make sense that a hen and a pigeon, even in horse racing, they have fillies?
Yeah.
Oh, wait a minute. A filly. Yeah, fillies running against, what do they call them? Stallions?
Yeah.
Stallions. They don't run.
Colts.
They don't run them. Normally the colts run against colts. Fillies run against fillies. So you got hens flying against
No.
cocks. You'd think the cocks are stronger, but I think mentally they're not as focused.
Now Charles is throwing in something here. Now Charles is
Does he want to be called Charles or Charlie?
Charles.
Or Chuck.
He's Charles Jr. on here.
Junior.
He's Charles Jr. So Jr. says this. It doesn't matter if a cock is driving. He's ready. Now, Charles, have you experienced this? Cocks at driving and still fire? That's a good question. Maybe he's seen this he's seen it 5-6 times, it don't matter.
Well, let me ask Charles something.
Milton says, I agree, hens win more than cocks.
They do win slightly more. I don't know why.
Okay, hold on. Mike Vandriak's back in. Now, guys, this is what I'm saying when you're on the show. This is what makes the show work. You guys type in, you get involved, you get off your ass and stop typing. Hey, and if you get a name wrong like I did with Oscar, I didn't know it was Donnie Crates. I thought it was Oscar you were talking to. Okay, hold on. It makes sense in pigeons that hens and cocks perform equally well because a pigeon races in not an athletic event. Oh, shit. Mike. Oh.
Who said that, Mike?
Hold on. I got to put my gloves on for this is the dumbest thing said of the day. So, pigeon racing is not an athletic event. So, basically, you can take a pigeon that's been locked up all summer to 50 miles and let him out and he'll come home. No, he's out of shape.
Well, he's a homer.
Pigeon racing, you have to have the pigeon in athletic shape.
Okay, what is form, Mike? I'm going to ask you, Mike, what is form? What do they talk about form? What does that mean? Answer that question.
Why do we loft fly? Why do we train? Why do we give them vitamins? Why do we give them minerals?
What is form?
Why do we single toss them, Mike?
Another guy asked me one time, I was at the post office. He said, what's form?
Hold on. How about... David Tracy says this. Let me start again. We're having fun tonight. How about racing a pigeon that broke his keel even though it's healed? I think when pigeons get injured almost for a season, they're no good. Even if they heal, I think we think they heal quicker than they do. I think if your pigeon breaks his ankle, he's done for the season. If he smashes his keel, even though if it pretty much looks healed...
You still got it.
Yeah, I don't know. I mean, I think maybe 10 weeks after, okay, is one thing. But I think 2 weeks after, no.
No, he's got it. I think you got to still feel the pain.
Okay, hold on. Charles is saying this. Charles, he's flying cockbird. So we're going to take Charles Jr. He says, yes, I did do good with my cocks, and I have the papers to prove it. Second place was the best position. Okay, so he's got a second place doing it. Now, here's the question. Is it a one-time? I mean, how many times have you tried that?
So you mean the cock was driving?
Yeah, he's got a second.
So yeah, but how did he fly after that?
No, the cock was driving, and he scored second in the club or in the combine.
Yeah, but
so
later on, how did he fly?
Well,
did you have to keep him driving all the time?
No. Well, we're just asked. We said we thought when a cock is driving, he's not as focused to score, to fly good.
I think he's not as focused as well. Even I talked to another guy.
But Charles says that he's gotten good results. Now hold on, Mike Vandriak says.
That could be a one-time wonder.
You like to equivalate humans with pigeons. What would be the score be if the men's Olympic hockey team played the women's Olympic hockey team?
We weren't asking that.
Mike.
We said pigeons. Mike said they're not athletes at all.
Mike, I don't understand.
Is like a racehorse not an athlete?
I don't understand how in the world you can think a pigeon's not an athlete, because then you're saying a horse isn't an athlete. Then how can we say even a human's an athlete?
Well, even hunting dogs.
Yeah, are hunting dogs athletes?
Some guys go into hunting tournaments where the dog's got to go like 10 hours hunting. A lot of dogs can't do it. They're athletes.
JD Teal says, if it gets hurt, majority it's done. If it hasn't shown anything at this point, it gets put in the bin. Here, we're going to let Van Zoren answer this because, hey, he's a Olympiada winner. A national winner. He sold pigeons for more money than
Carter has pills.
Than I'll ever make in one season of working.
Then Carter has pills.
Yeah. Alfred, are pigeons athletes? Because Mike Vanderyak says 100% pigeons are not athletes. We're not sure what they are, but they're not athletes. You let me know. And this is, hold on. Horse racing, pigeons just fly home at a normal pace.
No, but why
damn
are
it.
some pigeons way out
So
there in front? A pigeon will win a race, and there's pigeons that'll be an hour or two behind. There's also pigeons that can't show up.
I think Rosedale's trying to call Mike Vanderyak an idiot because he says humans are an animal. Humans are an animal. A mare racing against stallions on a racetrack. Oh, Alfred comes back and kicks Mike Vanderyak in the nuts. Sorry, Mike. Put your hands over your nuts right now. Because Mike Vanderyak says, or Alfred says they're top athletes. Alfred just totally into the nuts of Mike Vanderyak. Hey, you know what? This is why we're having fun.
I got a good question for you, and I was asked this. Actually, I was in the.
Hold on, we gotta
at the mall.
We gotta.
I was in the.
Hey, how come for a guy that goes to the mall, you never come back with any new? You got the same shorts.
I wear these shorts all the time.
Insane.
The ones that say "I love white trash." I wear these all the time.
Did you buy something for me at the mall?
Nothing.
Okay, hold on.
So,
hold on. Gerber Barr says this. Can young birds be jumped 100 miles between races? Example, one race, average 170 miles, the next one 270 miles. Sure.
I think so, yeah.
Sure.
They're in good shape.
If they're in good shape,
there's no problem.
No problem. Now again, though, there's a big difference between 170 and 270. A little bit more time on the brain, the focus level. The athlete has to be in the conditions to do it, the focus level. And not all pigeons do 250, 270, 300 miles.
I think a pigeon should show you that he's at least 2.5 to 3 hours on the wing.
So Mike Vanderyak now he's really on. He's feeling sensitive. Guys,
he's fuming. Okay, go, Mike.
Mike Vanderyak. I hate to say this, but you are wrong on this one again. The pigeon that won flew home the straightest. Well, yeah, he flew home the straightest, but he had to be in the best condition to stay ahead of the other ones that were flying straight.
In my opinion,
he had to stop for the less breaks,
in
Mike.
my opinion, pigeons that are not in top physical condition, the pigeon that is in top physical condition, we call it form.
Hold on
a minute. Let me finish. Mentally, he is also in better condition. If you take some person that's not in top physical condition, he will mentally break down. He'll start to I don't know what you call it, break down.
Mike Vanderyak, I'm going to just use one filly's name, Ruffian. Okay? How many fillies win the Triple Crown? They don't race fillies into Triple Crown. They have the filly Triple Crown.
This show's getting boring, man.
Mike,
I'm starting to yawn.
Now you're talking about hens versus cocks. Okay,
we're talking about physical condition. I have another question to ask you.
Hold on. Van Zoren says you give them some top athletes and a fat pig will never come first. Well, that's right.
100%. Doesn't matter how much the brain thinks, I got to go there. It can't do it. Because it's not physically in condition. The blood's not flowing properly. The muscle's not moving
Well, look,
properly.
even Charles is on board. Mike, you're getting it bad tonight. Human athletes train to get in shape, to be the best. We train our pigeons, athletes, to be in shape, to become the best. So yes, they are athletes. Sorry, Mike, you're wrong on this one. Mike Green, he's here, and he's having fun too. If I train my young birds, you don't, I'll beat you every time. Just like athletes, they have to be in shape.
Yeah, I believe
Milton, was Milton the guy you met at the mall?
I call him Milty.
Milty. They are athletes in their own category, and I think that's right. We can't tell the pigeons you have to get in shape. We're working with the pigeons to get them into shape.
We bring them in shape.
We bring them into shape.
Yeah.
Or they would only get to a certain amount of shape.
I believe a wild pigeon only has a certain amount of shape to trains himself to fly a distance to a field to get the feed and come back. That plug, or barn plug, or gulliger, he is not in condition to fly triple that space a lot of times. Or you understand what
Okay.
I'm saying?
So Mike Vanderyak, he's struggling, and I know what it is.
Okay, Mike, I'm going to help you out with another question now. I'm going to help you out with another question.
We're all watching the show. You remember that kid that started getting picked on because he was wearing Velcro
That was
shoes?
me. That was me.
Wearing Velcro shoes at school. We don't want to do this to Mike. So Mike, we're going to give you this word, and we're going to move past this because I don't want you to get ganged up on anymore. Even Elliot's laughing at you. If a race winner against 1,000 birds at 200 miles flies 1,300 meters a minute, how many of those 1,000 birds were capable of flying that race at 1,300 meters a minute? They were all. But the reason why only one did it out of the 1,000, Mike, because that bird was brought into better shape, was trained to take a straighter line.
What is form? I asked Mike what's form.
And the start speed,
What do
he
we
held
call?
the start.
Ask what's his face.
The start.
Alfred, what is the definition of pigeon in form? What does that mean?
Shit. Alfred just really hit Mike hard. Oh. Mike has to start breeding canaries. This is not what we're here to do, guys.
But even canaries. I went to buy a canary one day. The man said, I can't let that canary go because it's molting. It's not in proper health when they're molting. That means if it's molting bad, you can never really reach a top-notch form. I'm asking Alfred or Mike, what is the definition of form? Alfred, give me an answer.
Okay, so Mike says next week under the exact same conditions, different birds will dominate. Well, no, Mike. It's not true. At the end of the season, there's champion birds. There's Olympiada pigeons. There's pigeons that hold their form. Pigeons are at the top level. Pigeons,
wait a minute.
top athletes.
Mike's right though. The
No.
week after,
No.
another bird can come into a better form, better than he was the week before.
Hold on, but at the end of the season, out of 1,000 birds, there's always a handful of pigeons that are the ace pigeons, are there not? It happens in one-off races.
Because in an average, over those races, your ace pigeon can hold form longer and better than other pigeons.
Okay, hold on. Rosedale says, Mike, I saw a hen win 3 club races in a row. Okay. Van Zoren says, this is a joke. Mike Vaniak says, form is mostly motivation. Oh, Jesus Christ. Form is mostly motivation.
Alfred says it's a joke. Form?
Well,
or he doesn't know what's form?
No. If form is motivation, Mike, go take a cockbird that's been dormant all winter and show him his hen.
That's motivation.
That's motivation. Is his feathers blown out? Is he perfectly in perfect condition? Is he perfect in everything? If you let him out around the loft, will he fly for an hour and a half? No, he won't. You know what? He'll do 3 loops, sit on the board and go like this.
Why is
Puff.
it when we handle a pigeon, we say you feel the muscle tone on either side of the keel you check the flesh.
Okay. All right.
The flesh is nice and
So-
pink.
so-
You see a nice little white line
Guys,
up here.
guys.
And you say, ooh,
Guys,
this pigeon feels good. And he's nice and buoyant. He's not friggin' heavy.
so Mike is 100% saying that we're wrong on this. You guys pick what side of the river you want to be on. I know.
Apparently this Alfred guy knows how to fly pigeons. I want to hear what he said. He said this is a joke.
Yeah, he's saying it's a joke. He's saying what Mike's saying is a joke.
Mike's a joke?
Yeah, that's what he's saying.
Why?
Because he doesn't believe it. He believes that pigeons are athletes.
And they have to get in form.
They have to get into top form.
That's
And champion birds, they will hold their form longer than others. Hold
That's
on.
right. Depending on the work the owner gives that homer, he's going to be the right condition. The trainer has the option how to keep the bird in the right form.
Okay.
He has the right feeding and the right exercise.
Okay.
And the right rest.
So we got some comments here. So let's read these comments. Alfred says, also known as Alfie, as I call him, I disagree with Mike. Pigeons are top athletes. Form comes from everything being perfect in health. And that's right. Form is everything put together. The proper training, the proper rest, the proper feed, the proper motivation, all the little things, the little stones that get unturned. That's what creates super form. There's good form, great form, super form. Now,
And if you miss one of those points and the other guy doesn't miss him, he's going to get you. He's
okay,
gonna beat,
hold on.
He's going to win.
Form, JD Teal says, form is get off your ass and go outside and run around the house. That's right. Not in form. You got to get out there and go to work. I agree with you.
Yeah.
Milton says, this is the guy from the mall. Did you guys meet at Foot Locker? Or was it J.C. Penney?
Milty, yeah.
Milty, yeah. The best bird's going to do it every race on an average in the top. Okay, I agree with you there.
Let me ask you a question.
Rosedale says, just hold on. A coach knows how to get a coach knows how to get his team in condition as well as motivate them. That would mean getting your team in form, motivating them,
That's
conditioning
right.
them.
And the coach knows.
And hold on. When a coach on a hockey team, Mike, gets in the locker room and pep talks his guys and makes them rah, 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 that's getting them into form, building them up a little bit. They're already in condition.
Should be in form.
That puts them into more form. Mike Vanderyak, he's pretty upset now. Pigeons locked up all winter can easily fly 100 miles the first time out. All right.
Well, maybe.
Hold on. Pigeons locked up all winter. First time out can fly 100 miles. Okay, Mike. Mike. That one was for you, Mike.
Oh, I believe if they're locked up all winter and he's feeding them like a lot of barley and getting them, but there's no way. There's no way. And he's going to fly 100 miles to what? Compete?
No.
No way.
No.
I don't think he'll fly.
If you have a pigeon locked up for 5 months in that loft, and you take it 100 miles north, and the basket opens up,
9 tenths out of 10 he will not.
there's an 85% chance he won't be there on the day. He might be there 3 days later, or he ain't coming at all.
If you have a nice fly pen maybe out there, he
Maybe.
back and forth, but
Van Zoren says motivation is not a form, but a motivation. And that's true. But all little things.
I believe that is 100% right. That's not form. Motivation is not form. It's like saying, I took a guy that wasn't exercising. He sit on the couch, and all of a sudden he sees this beautiful woman coming in his room, and he's getting all excited. He's happy to see her. You're trying to say he's coming into form? He's not coming into form.
Hold on.
I know a guy. Hold on. I know a guy that met a beautiful woman one night. He took her to bed. Wasn't his wife. Someone else. He had a heart attack.
Hold on.
In the friggin' room. He friggin' died right there. So what kind of form did that bring him in? You understand me?
He was motivated. He was in
He
mental
was in
form.
motivation. Yeah, he got excited, really excited.
Okay.
He had a heart attack. It's a true story.
Seven Hills, you know what? Seven Hills, we're going to give you the thumbs down tonight. We're sorry we're late. He's late tonight. Better late than never. You didn't miss nothing, but Mike Vanderyak has come off the top rope again with his razzle-dazzle. I had to put oven mitts on and do a shot of Absolute for Mike to save Mike from this hill that he's crawled himself down.
Okay, I'm going to change the
Mike
subject.
Mike Vanderyak saying, a racing pigeon is not an athlete. Seven Hills, you're late to this. Maybe you should have the final word. Is Mike on drugs?
Seven Hills just came in.
Yeah. Hold on.
We're going to give you a minute. You got a low battery on your camera.
Oh, shit. Oh, shit.
We're in trouble.
Grab an extension
I
cord
wasn't
over
even
there.
going to be involved in this show.
We're going to have to get it. Is there a little extension cord over there? I don't know how everything's burning out tonight.
Here, I got one of these.
That's going to work. Back to you, Rick. Pass her to me.
Okay, so I got a question to ask people.
No, hold on. We got more comments.
I wasn't even going to get involved tonight.
Hold on.
But
hold on. Let me just get to the comments
I got some good questions to come up.
Delano. You remember Delano?
Yeah, Delano. I haven't seen him in a while. He was going to come in a one-off race and didn't show up. I guess he ran into problems.
Hey, hold on.
Got some good pigeons, Delano.
Delano's going to be back next year, though, and that's fine.
Whatever circumstances.
Hold on. So Delano goes, I don't agree with Mike. I have had the same pigeon win all 4 races in a club so far this season. Good job, Delano.
That's a good pigeon.
That's a good pigeon. Rosedale says, they may fly 100 miles, but it could be over a week. I'm going to tell you, a pigeon that you just take out of a loft after 2 months, 3 months.
And just dump him off?
100 miles?
Oh.
I think you're going to lose them.
You got to be very lucky. And I do think that's a good test to if you had 20 cockbirds or 20 hens. Don't take them, just take one take it 100 miles. If that thing comes back, good one. But I bet you 99%
so Mike's trying to climb out of this hole again. Mike says, Elamar, have you ever had a bird come home that you sold a few years before and it's been locked up the entire time? Yes,
I've had that. I have had that. I had a bird one time from Long Lac, which is 500 and something miles to here, 800 kilometers. It came back, I'm not lying, a year later. I couldn't friggin' believe it.
But what we're saying is, how often does it happen?
That only happens once in a blue moon.
Come on.
Yeah, right?
There's an exception to the rule. Van Zoren says, if your pigeons are inside for 5 months and you let them fly 100 kilometers in one go, they will be useless for the entire season. And I know exactly why. Pigeons put on too much weight. They have the power. They injure the wings. I've seen it a lot there in Europe. Guys, they have birds real bad, eh?
They blow their wings.
Right at the beginning of the season.
Blow the muscles right out.
Of the wings.
I know one thing, even if you loft fly in very severe winds, that can also hurt your pigeon's wings. So ask what's his name? Alfred.
Seven Hills is waiting for those little cherries to drop. Nothing wrong with this, Seven Hill. You're playing it close to the vest, and we like that. Seven Hill says, I like Mike. Plus, I'm innocent. So Seven Hills isn't going to comment on this one, and that's okay. You guys, it doesn't matter which way you think.
That means he doesn't want to hurt
Mike's feelings.
Yeah. We read between
Love
the
the contact from Ricky about form. Milton loves... When you and Milton were at the mall together, were you guys coming into form?
Actually, I met him in the unisex bathroom.
Unisex bathroom. Matus Lofts, racing pigeon. Motivation gets a bird to work harder to get home faster than his current. Is allowing the bird to excel. Top form will make a difference, not motivation alone. I think it all works together.
He's right. If the bird's in top form and you do a motivation...
Hold on. We had a ding-dong. Asked for yellow drops.
Oh, yeah.
I'm not going to mention his name, down in the schwa there.
Yeah.
You don't train the pigeons. Don't loft fly them regular. Missing races.
Yeah.
I can give you yellow drops. I can give you Burgiste. I can give you respiratory powder. I can give you all the stuff and give you the best feed that buyers can sell up there. Give it to them all.
And give them the best pigeons money can buy.
Right. If you do
Best.
not put the work in,
That's
all that shit that you gave them is nothing.
That's right.
Because you need to put the work in, and then you add those as little doors that you're opening.
That's right.
Building better form, building this, building that, using the expensive grits.
It helps.
It all helps. But again, everyone does it differently. Hold on.
Doesn't mean that everyone does it different. Where are they flying?
But
combine.
But what we're saying is, it's the motivation. You can motivate a pigeon. If he has no condition, he's done. It's finished.
You're wasting your time.
That's right. He's just a motivated pigeon. K-Man's back. I haven't seen K-Man in forever. He's a guy who comes after us, but he's back again. Because you know why? This is the goddamn best show you could ever be on for pigeon flying.
I got a good question for you later.
Hold on. A pigeon man would not take a pigeon 100 kilometers after being in the loft for 5 months. Well, Mike Vanderyak saying we try. You know what I'm thinking we should try, Ricky? We should try 5 pigeons. One at 1 month, one at 2 months, one at 3 months, one at 4 months, and one at 5 months. And let's see how they do.
I wouldn't expect
But you wouldn't do that. You want to know why? Because it's called torture.
It's not fair.
That's fair. So you're 100% right. K-Man, I agree with you.
Sorry, Mike.
Mike, you're wrong on this one. But I do agree. Sometimes you do get a bird back after you sold a guy, and it's one of those whoops-a-daisies.
Okay, what happens is after you sold it or if you lost it, somebody will get it in, and it'll break to their house, to their loft. It'll break, and it'll fly for them. It'll whatever. It'll get into condition, but somewhere maybe on a race where something happens, the thing gets chased by a falcon, or the clouds are black, dark, and he goes around. He gets. All of a sudden, he gets some kind of confusion, I think.
Okay.
And he goes, oh, I'm going home. And he goes back to where he originally flew from. He goes there.
Hold on.
And you may say, I lost him a year ago. The guy the pigeon all of a sudden gets confused, and his brain clicks and goes,
I got to go back to the original.
I'm going back original home.
No.
I don't think the pigeon ever really forgets his original home.
I don't think people forget their original home. I don't think people do.
I don't know.
Okay, here we go. I got a couple comments to make here. And there's a couple questions, and I'm going to throw in some. My first national had form and double motivational. Had double motivation. So he had form and he was using double motivation. Milton says, wrong Milton, Hawaii MD lofts. Okay, no problem. JD Teal says, yeah, it comes back after you sold it, but how long had it been out? How long has it been out?
You know, sometimes a pigeon can get lost, or for some reason he doesn't make it home. So he decides he's going to live at the church, or he's going to live at a barn, he's going to live somewhere. Okay, he's out. You're fielding, living in the field, coming back. Well, then all of a sudden, if you lost them in the summer, all of a sudden it's December, and all of a sudden we get a foot and a half of snow in the fields, and he's going, okay, what? He never experienced this. The barn plugs, they experience that. They know what's going on. And he's going, holy jumping. What am I going to do? All of a sudden, he clicks. I got to go back home. And that's when you get them. A lot of times you'll get them after a heavy snowfall.
Yeah.
The summer, you lose them
sometimes you get them in the spring as well. I don't know why that is.
In the springtime, well, sometimes you can shack up with a hen, or a hen shacks up with a cock in the barn. Next thing you know, maybe the hen gets killed. He gets killed. The bird's sitting there. I got no mate. Oh no. What am I going to do? He's heartbroken. What's he do? Flies back to his home.
Hold on.
He always thinks of his home.
You know, Mike, I'm going to throw this one at you. And I'll read what Mike's going to say, and then we have first-hand knowledge of this. If I bought a bird from LMR off his old bird team in October, and, you know, it gets out in April, you would even expect it probably to come home. And you would say, yeah, I probably expect it should come home. Hopefully it should. There's a lot of chance it might not, but I think it should. I remember our last year, what was it, about 3 years ago, we flew in the Niagara Peninsula one-off race. And Rick Fife flew our pigeons, 2 pigeons, flew them out to Englehart.
Englehart, yeah.
He got them back.
Yeah.
And he brought them up and he dropped them off here.
I think it was a week after the race.
No, it wasn't. He brought them up and we were talking about going in the Encore. The Niagara Club was going on the Encore wagon.
Okay.
And we talked about it, and Rick was here. Rick went, and we called Rick and said, Rick, we're going to let these 2 birds out that you just brought. Finish your race. And they can go and do the Encore. Did Rick ever get them home?
They never went back.
They never went back. And they flew to Englehart.
2 of them.
2 of them.
Yeah.
They went side by side.
I remember.
Now,
maybe one got
hit by a wire.
Maybe one hit a plumbing van. A plumbing van. You know, cube van? They maybe hit the cube van.
Here's my
side of a cube van.
Here's my next question for you pros. Is every race day a pigeon racing day or a day of, I call them smash pigeons? What do I mean by smash pigeons? I've seen it multiple years. Top pigeons that are up front every week. Vroom, vroom, vroom. Then all of a sudden, there's a race that goes a little off, and all the birds lower in your loft, they come up to the front. And the good birds fall to the back. And normally, you don't see a big drop.
I think a lot of homers, they just pace themselves. Some of them, it's like you get sprint runners, or you get a long distance runner.
No.
Or you get a runner that likes to run in sand, or a runner that likes to run on grass.
What I'm saying is, do you believe there's 2 types of different race days?
I think so. There's different birds that pace themselves, Ryan. And I have another good question to ask you. I was in a club one time.
I need something better to drink.
We had a message, discussion at the club. We had about 30 members in that club. That was the Far North Racing Pigeon Club. That was years ago.
Now it's called the...
now it's the...
York Region.
York Region, and then there's another club that...
Far North Invitational.
Far North Invitational Club.
Yeah.
But it used to be the Far North Racing Pigeon Club, or Homing Club. Anyways, we had a meeting, and there's about 30 members in it. That was a pretty nice club. And Norm Davidson, he was a member. He used to win a lot of races, that guy. He was like unbelievable. He was a truck driver. He used to haul fuel up north, from here up to Timmins, Temagami, up in that area. And his wife was in the club as well. I don't know her name, but I know she was a club member. And she had, they said, anybody got anything else to say? And she said, yes, I have a question. And she said something about what the question was. And then we had one member.
Okay,
His name said, this is a man's club. This is no club for women. We don't have to listen to this bull from this woman. Okay, what do you guys feel about women being in pigeon racing where there's men? Or should they have a different club for women's only? For women. What do you think? I'm just saying that there's a good thing. A lot of men won't listen if there's a woman in the club. And they, especially some of these old school boys, They dictate against this. I don't think it's a stupid question, Ryan.
It's not a stupid question. You need
I
all the flyers you can get. So
I don't think that's right.
No.
For men to dominate women. I love women. I like women. But, I'm mostly looking at women all the time.
Well,
but
you really went off the rockers here
I'm
now.
going off with what does Mike Vanderjagt think about that?
We had more questions, but okay. What does Mike... Well, we don't want to put this on Mike. This isn't everyone against Mike.
Okay, what do other people think?
Okay, well, let's think about your question.
Why don't we have very many women in the pigeon sport?
I'm going to get to comments, and we'll let you guys comment about women in the sport. I think women in the sport is good. I think anybody in the sport is good. But women...
I don't think you should dominate against women.
No, I don't think... No.
No, I don't think
and I don't think they should dominate maybe when it's a husband and a wife team. And I think that's... They really downgrade the women then. But hold on. You got some comments. We're going to let that comments come in.
Well, you don't think it's important?
No. The comments got to come in because you just said it. It takes a minute.
While to
yeah.
Going here.
So I got a few things I'm going to read, and then your comments will come in. But to make a long story short, says Van Zoren, nobody knows every day. You learn from your pigeons. You have to learn to read, understand them, treat them as you want to treat them with respect. Okay? J.D. Teal, on my question, saying about pigeons, top pigeons falling off on different days, I think when it happens, the other pigeons came into form. Listen, I've seen pigeons when you can be in races where you'll get 5, 8, 10 on a drop. Bang, bang, bang. You'll do it 3, 4, 5 weeks. Then all of a sudden there's a race where the birds get let up in, I think, foggy conditions, or something bad happens at the start. And all of a sudden you see your other birds that are normally a little bit behind, they come up front. And then what do we see? Groups of the other birds come again in groups behind. Boom, boom, boom. But slower. I don't think they come out of form. I think something bad happens. I think it's an off day. Charles says that don't make sense. Women should be able to fly with men. No questions asked.
I think 100%. If I could say something, I think if we had more women in the club, you would get more men coming to the club.
K-Man says, that sounds like a German accent. No, that was his Spanish accent. You were doing a Spanish accent there. Good job on that one.
K-Man, you're a good man.
Okay, if it's only women, I'd like to be the bartender. Alfred, you're... So Alfred's looking now. Alfred, in Holland, he's going to start the first only women's pigeon club. Now the question is,
I think what about that dancing what do they call that dancing? Hey, tell him to stop.
Leave him alone.
What about that dancing? That what do they call that dancing? The women like the dancing. That the Western dancing. That
line dancing.
Line dancing. You have line dancing at the club.
Okay, so Alfred's gonna be the bartender.
What's he gonna bring to eat? Chicken wings?
No.
Chicken legs?
Chicken legs, yeah. Fried chicken.
Fried chicken.
But that's a good question. I mean,
it's a very good question.
Well, no, but it gets to a point. And I'm going to say something.
I was at that club meeting, and I couldn't believe that son of a bitch would say that right out in front of 29 men. He said that.
Yeah, but because he's a low grade, and he's trying to insert his dominance. It's the same thing, and I hate to say this. Troy Spencer, he works like everyone else. He donates his time to be a liberator, and because he's got to go to a wedding, they fire him from something that he offered to do. Now, here's another thing, as I say. I don't think there should be 3 liberators. If a combine has 10 clubs in it, there should be 10 liberators. Should there not be?
10 different ideas.
Well,
take a vote.
Well, no, but I mean, you put liberating on 3 people in our area. One guy's, his mother died, so he can't do it. Or no, one guy he had to go to a wedding. Or no, one guy he got drunk the night before and he fell asleep and he couldn't wake up to do it.
We're talking about women in clubs, and you're talking about liberators now. We're already talking about that shit.
No, but is
there any women out there that are in clubs that feel discriminated by males in the club?
Milton, is this the guy you met at the mall?
Milty.
Women are equal, entitled to be in this awesome sport. I don't know if this is an awesome sport. Let's not go about awesome.
To me, women look a lot better than men. I'd like to go.
You know what it would be incredible to do?
Go to the Cougar Club.
Nope.
It's called Cougar.
No.
The Cougars.
You have all the women of the men ship the pigeons. Would there be less fighting or more?
Oh.
So your wife has to ship your pigeons.
There could be more fighting.
You think?
Yeah.
But why I was saying is about, and I'm using Troy being yelled at and told off and this and that. It's the same as that woman. You know, people say, well, you can't be a liberator. You can't do this. If people are offering to do it, let them do it. Hold on, we got more comments. Oh boy, Charles is here. Charles was on the train, wasn't he? I would love to see a woman dominate a club. That would be awesome. Kick all the guys' asses to make them step up their game. Yeah? Okay. You know, I really think pigeon racing, men and women, I think a woman can do just as good as a man. I think if a woman's kicking my ass every week, she's working hard. I think women are very good in a pigeon loft. They're a little more softer with pigeons. Maybe that's not the best thing. But I see there in some lofts there in Europe, the women are very, very good with pigeons. I know Alfred, he had a partner that was obviously was a woman. She was very good with, very, very good with pigeons. The shit's getting deep now. Shit. Can I have a sip of that? You took that. There's only 2 goddamn Pepsis left. Don't take it.
You figured that Alfred's partner was a woman. Ask Alfred.
Okay, JD Teal says, the reason I say that my best birds first half of the season are not my best birds the second half. Hey, no, and I get that. You can see a drop-off. But I know when there's pigeons, I'm talking when you're flying a group of pigeons, when you have the army. When the army is off, you can see it, your later pigeons come. I'm talking not a few pigeons, I'm talking the army. Hold on. We got more comments coming in. Mike Green says, my ship are birds for me when I was flying. They treat her the same as I do as all of us, okay? Van Zorn says, women are better. Now, he thinks women are better pigeon flyers. I think maybe. I don't know.
Well, you got to look at it. Women know better to arrange for children, like they're more for the family.
Can a woman be more on schedule than a man? I think so.
Maybe the schedule. I think so. Maybe more patient, has more reasoning as far as what they see, the involvement of what the birds do. They have a little more reasoning. They're not as harsh. Maybe they're sometimes too soft, I think, too. Could be. But
if she's hard enough, she could be very good.
Take a look at in the school systems. I think there's more women teaching the children than there are men. Okay?
I think women teachers are better.
Take a look at the bus driving people.
Yeah.
There's more women bus drivers than men.
Right.
There's more women postal people than men.
Nurses are better. Your best nurses are always women.
Women.
Okay.
Women. What else?
God almighty. Hold on.
Holy jumping. Women are better in bed than men.
Okay.
Have you ever gone to bed with a man? It's not the same.
Hold on, though. These are all good points. So
This is why I
Alfred
brought
could
up
be
this
really
point.
be onto something. Now, guys, do I recommend getting your wife or your girlfriend involved? I do. But if you're going to let her be a part of it, you got to have an open mind. You got to work together. If you try to dominate her out, you're going to push her out and you're going to lose. What does Verstrada say? He says the last few years he's found he's been doing better since he has his wife involved in the loft. His wife sees things that he doesn't see.
Is that right?
Yes.
Wow.
Mike Parrish. We have a combine, guys that raise late hatches for the second half of the season. What's your thoughts? Okay, good. Maybe, sure. But, you know, in North America, if you fly an 8 or 10 week season, I want to see an ace pigeon, a pigeon that can kind of go from start to finish or pretty much be there.
But that's a pretty tough, what you're talking
it's
about.
tough. It's
for,
tough.
For pigeons to get the ace pigeon and make them work like that in 8 weeks. You know what I'm saying?
Okay, and Seven Hills just comes up with this. Listen, it's bad enough. We all say that the pigeon hobby sport, because of lack of participants, now we are complaining about women in the sport. I believe a woman's involvement is A+, and I think so too. I'm not against women in the club. And I think if husbands got their wives more involved, it brings them more together. It gets you doing things together. It's the same thing as joining a bowling club, or it's the same thing as going shopping. It's all the same. You get involved with it and you do it together. Milton says, look at the pigeons. My opinion, the hens are better than the cocks. Okay? Seven Hill Plus, bring dinner during shipping and report night. Okay? Van Zorn says, what if it is a dominating woman, then you also have a problem. You have a dominating woman, and that's also a problem.
Well,
listen, Alfred, we can't pick the perfect woman, but...
Well, don't you get dominating men? Yes.
Yeah, you get dominating men.
I know what Alfred's saying. We don't have to listen to this bitch. You want to go out? Come on.
Ricky, that was a bit rough on that one. I wouldn't have probably come out with that exact statement, but yeah. I agree. Well, same thing. I was at I was visiting the lofts of Potten and Lanen in Holland. They're a husband and wife team, and they really work good together. I mean, both have their jobs that they do in the loft, and they don't. You can see they sort of don't overstep each other's. It's kind of like you or me, except you just don't listen to me. Now that we're saying this, and I want to be honest here, we can't just make this about women and about men.
If you have a woman work with you,
are gay people invited?
Gay people, I don't care.
You don't care.
They're human. I don't care.
So you don't care.
But don't preach it
At the club. Oh, same with religion. I don't want to hear religion at a club.
I don't want to hear that either. This is pigeon raising.
And here's another thing.
If you have a woman with you and you're part of your membership, your partners, man and wife, the woman, if she doesn't train 3 times a day, get rid of her. Get another woman. There's always another woman that will train for you.
Listen. Well, sure. Listen to this one. Racing pigeons. This is what David Tracy says. Now, David is coming up to Christmas. David wants to come on the Pigeon Boss tour. I can tell, because listen to what he says. Racing pigeons is much more easier since Sherry has been involved. That's his wife. He got his wife involved a few years ago. They're having fun. That's what it's about. But I'm sure, David, you had to make some adjustments, and Sherry, you had to learn a few new things.
You have to learn etiquette, Sherry.
Right.
When you go to the club, you have to wear a skirt below your knees, 10 inches, And you also, no short shorts, no halter tops, no high heel shoes, and stuff like that. Otherwise,
Pigeon men can be creepy. Hold on, Mike Green, he's going for points as well tonight. If it wasn't for my wife, I couldn't have my birds. So there you go, guys. You're seeing people having their wives involved. Again, being at a club, I think everyone's invited. Don't put on, definitely don't put your religion on people at a club. Don't do it. And this is another thing. Pigeon clubs, guys, I've heard some rules about some clubs. You're not allowed to have a drink at the club.
well, if you get out of order, then you're in trouble.
Well, I just think pigeon flying and drinking is like...
Yeah, but some people get out of order. That's the problem. Some people don't know where that limit is.
So would you say there should be no drinking at a pigeon club?
Well,
I'm being honest. I mean, we like to have a drink.
we used to have the club in Stouffville. I'm telling you, we had a bottle of whiskey every shipping night, a case of beer. We had pop, whatever you wanted. And we were, the club was good. We didn't have any problems. But I know some people, they get carried away, then they start getting upset, insulting people. You got no screen on that thing, eh?
Uh-oh.
We're in trouble.
We're in trouble.
Is it still on?
We're not sure. Hold on. Hold on, folks. We're just going to fix this up. Hold on. If you can hear us. Hold on, guys. Must have had the flu here. Okay, we are back. Hold on. We're going to bring this back for you. 1 second, guys. Oh, hold on. Yeah, I don't know why it's not coming back. So
people can't see us? Or they can't hear us? Or what's going on?
I'm not really sure. Hold on. I don't know, guys. Let me just rotate this over here. We're having a good conversation tonight. All right, we're back.
Oh, there.
I don't know what's gone on here. Something happened. But it did. So let's get to the comments. Oh, I don't want to do this way. Oh boy. Okay, Charles says, presentation should have no discrimination. In it for everyone. Welcome to young and gay people, straight people, okay? Just let them have fun with racing pigeons. That's right. I don't disagree with you there. Ryan, do you also have that your father doesn't listen? I do, and a bit old-fashioned habits. Yes, Ricky is like that all the time. He doesn't listen. He's trying to tell me things. He's about 4,000 years behind, but that's okay. Discrimination, I understand. Charles, pigeon racing. We can hear you. Okay, you're froze up. We see you. Here we are. We're going to run this for about... you know what? We've been on for 2 hours. It's been a really good show.
I got another question to ask you.
I don't think we should do another question tonight.
Why? Because all my questions are too good.
All right, what's your question?
Okay, I met a young flyer one day. They asked me,
Painful.
homework person,
Can you just get with your stupid questions? God, you
if
take
your
forever.
first set of eggs are hatching and you see they're starting to chip, is it good to help the young one come out of the egg
No.
to sooner,
Nope.
let the crowd answer the question, to sooner have it come out than
No.
leave it natural.
No,
If you get excited, you
Yeah,
want to
you-
see that young
no.
one. and
Never,
all this
never
stuff.
bother it. It has to do it on its own.
Yeah.
It's the big push of life, isn't it not?
I said I'll ask that on the show.
Well, that's my answer.
Maybe some other people don't feel the same way, right?
We don't know. We're gonna have to wait and see what these other people think. I wanted to wrap this show up, and you asked this stupid question. I asked about drinking in the show, and people aren't afraid.
I think drinking at the club, I really don't think it's a good idea because people got to drive home, and that could be a problem. Years ago, we used to do it, and it was like.
Okay,
now
so
I'm thinking I'm making more common sense. It's very dangerous with
Okay,
accidents.
but
Maybe.
what I'm saying is, if everyone has a beer at the club, congratulate the winner and have a beer or have a drink. I think that's fine.
We used to do it that the winner had to buy a case of beer for the members.
Is that why you lost so many races? Every time you come home, you be drunk and you're
didn't.
happy.
I thought I had a good bird. I knew I had a good bird, but I used to stall it.
So Van Zoren says, no, don't help him out. Don't help the eggs come out. Or the hatching. Ricky,
Good.
I'm going to keep this camera on you.
Do you think it's good to put plastic eggs, what do they call them, pod eggs, under pigeons?
No, we're not asking that question because you've asked this
Yes,
first
about
question.
eggs that are chipping and people get excited for the first hatch. Should they help the youngster come out?
No one helps them.
That's only a question.
Anyways, you know what? We've been on for 2 hours.
Right.
We gotta train these one-off birds starting tomorrow. We've got to get going. We've got a lot of training to do. Agree with Ryan. Leave it alone. Mildy.
Yeah.
He
said
says
that.
He
Okay,
said
that's
that.
good.
So
And
leave it alone.
unless we have, if you want to have alcohol at your club, have a designated driver. Maybe a bus or something to take the members home.
A bus. Take a bus. Oh shit. Take a bus.
Happy bus.
Oh.
And if you're gonna have alcohol at a club, do not have whiskey. You have whiskey drinkers at the club, then you have beer drinkers at the club. Very bad mix.
Normally
Very
your
bad
beer
mix.
drinkers are more
And
relaxed.
then you have other guys that only drink Coca-Cola, and all they talk about is, I don't drink beer, I don't drink whiskey. Coca-Cola is the best for your health, best for everybody in my family, and all this shit. Next thing you know, the guy with the Coca-Cola, he starts winning all the friggin' races.
Yes, we will show the trainers as we showed here. We're doing things a little different this year. We showed the birds here. They're all getting watered in the transporter. Tomorrow we'll have the first clocking list, which you'll see. 111 birds got chipped, so we're looking good. You had a really good. You broke them real good this year, but again, when you do it a little different, sometimes it'll happen. You did a great job, Ricky, on that.
You know what so happens, Ryan, that you could have that great. The next thing, you got it bad. Something happens. You never know.
Yeah, you can lose them anywhere.
You get a rainstorm, a windstorm, hawk storm. Who knows what the heck comes? You know, you just don't know. You think it's going good. All of a sudden,
Survival of the fittest. You keep me awake. We'll drive. Thank you. Hey, thanks, Alfred.
Alfred,
Yes.
bring us some chicken if you can. Stop by.
Mike Green says, I have my wife drive me home from the club. Mike's a smart guy.
That's a good-
Using your wife.
He's got a good woman. Can we not get a picture of her on the show for next week?
Shane
please?
says, Happy Labor Day. Happy Labor Day to you, Shane. And, yeah, we're going to show the one-loft birds being trained. You guys are going to see stuff. Don't worry. We're going to do it a little differently, though, than last year. Or differently than other years. But you know what? It's okay. You guys are going to still see everything that you like to see. There you see your one-loft birds learning how to drink in the transport. Look at the corn there. You know we love to use corn when you see that there on the right. Keep your eyes peeled. That's how you learn things. Corn is the fuel that you need. Sometimes your kid might need to drive home, says Michael Peevler. Oh, Ricky can drive me home whenever he wants. So we're going to start training this week, starting tomorrow. You're going to see I got to turn the clock on tomorrow. We did a test run of it. Everything's looking good. Good luck to the Pioneer people. This is the time now where it really starts to matter. And the first toss is at the school, which is just...
It's 100 miles away. Was that the reform school that you went to?
1,000 feet away. We'll start with 1,000 feet and work on from there. Hey guys, that's Ricky. I'm Ryan. I'm not sure why the iPad crapped out, but hey, that's okay. It doesn't matter.
I've got another question, but we'll leave it for next week.
Remember, guys, the Pigeon Boss Tour. This is a tour that you want to come on. We only got 3 spots available, so if you want to have some fun, get on board in the Pigeon Boss Tour. Like, share, and subscribe. That's Richard. I'm Ryan. We'll see you again next Monday. Will we have any one-loft birds left by next Monday?
We don't know.
We'll have to wait and see.
As long as we don't go to the cornfield, we should be all right.
You know what? You're a real asshole for that one. Thanks for flying with me, guys. Have a great evening. Oh, and one more thing. Sorry, Oscar. It wasn't you. Bye for now.